Once you feel like your project is ready to be rendered, there's a couple things that we need to check on first just to make sure we've got the settings right. So I'll go here to Media, and then we're looking at these still shots or image. If you've already got one set up, great. If not, just click here and you'll create a new one based on whatever the camera is currently looking at. Go to the camera option over here and under Properties, and make sure that your exposure is turned up to the right amount. You can try the auto exposure, but the problem that I get sometimes with renderings on paper, if they're going to be printed, they might need to be a little bit brighter than what you would think. So whatever it looks like here on the screen, you probably better brighten it up just a little bit to be able to get that same thing in print form. And I do think the auto exposure does a pretty darn good job. And then our white balance, this will just turn everything warmer or cooler. Go for whatever suits your rendering best. Next would be the lens options. Even though what I'm going to show you won't make a big difference in my own rendering, this parallelism option is really a critical checkbox. And if you don't select it, you may have walls that look like they're vanishing somewhere down below the image. So even though my walls and these lines, they all look like they're straight up and down, in a lot of renderings they don't. And this will make all vertical lines parallel and perfectly vertical. And it's such a great tool. You've got to make sure to do that. Okay, and then the last one is under Image. We want to have these very proportions that you see on mine. And you'll notice that if you go to one of the settings, it's going to change that. So if I go to 4K, for example, my picture just got wider than it used to be. And that'll make a rendering that won't fit on an 11 by 17 inch sheet of paper. So it's not to say that this is bad, but proportionally we need to stay with a 2:3 ratio. And the way that we do that is we take whatever numbers on the top here and open up a calculator. And my number under 4K is 3840, so let's type in 3840 and then divide that by 1.54. And that's just 3 divided by 2, I think. Hit enter and we get 2493. 2493, enter. And now the proportions are just right horizontally and vertically. And let's see, 3 divided by 2 is 1.5, but that's not, I guess, the exact ratio that we're after. We're actually after 17 divided by 11, which is 1.54. So that's why we're going to use that number. And just if you want to keep it simple, just use the exact numbers that you see for width and height here on my screen. And when you're done adjusting anything else, there's also, a lot of other good settings to look at through here. But when you're all done, you'll simply go to Export. We're going to do a local export. It wants to know what images we plan to render. So I'll click on the little plus. I only have one to choose here, so I'll select it. And then when you're done, you kind of look for this OK button, but there isn't one. Just click away or move your cursor away. You can see I still have one image selected. What format are you looking for? JPEG. And start your export, and it'll ask you where do you want to save that file. And then in the next video I'll show you how to print it.